For the next step, I'm going to add a few extra pieces to this character. So I'm going to cheat and unhide the rest of my head. Now again, this was simply created by using the exact same techniques I showed you earlier. Shift cloning, and then simply just connecting these up. So I'm going to weld this into the eye. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete my symmetry modifier, and then I'm simply going to attach. Then the last thing I need to do is stitch the two together. So I'm going to use borders, and then I'm going to click bridge. Now it's kind of created a bit of a messy edge around the outside. The easiest way to deal with this is for me to delete one of these borders like so, and then click the borders again and re-bridge them, and then I can actually twist till it looks good. Okay, then I'm going to drop in a segment, and then I'm just going to click this edge here and tug it forward a little bit. Cool, that should do the trick. Again, I'm not worrying about smoothing this down. I'll show you why in a moment. Using the same technique I used to create the eye, I've created a mouth as well. So I've simply grabbed the lips and shift clone those out using the attach button. Bridge the mouth. Now you may get this happening. You've got a triangle here and a triangle here. The way to solve that is to use the reverse triangulation button. See, now it's all in smooth quads. That's a good result. Hit OK. Once again, I'm going to grab my chamfer key and chamfer to get nice crisp lip edges. Just pull this lip out a bit more. Drop this one down a little bit. Do a little bit of sculpting there. And then I'm going to sharpen up the filter of the lip by pulling that down like so. Not too bad. Now I'm going to get a fold in the side here where the barrel of the mouth meets the cheek. So again, I'm just going to use the ring and then connect edge keystrokes to pull that out. Delete the ones I don't need. Pull that back. That's good. And then I get to pull out my wrinkle like so. Okay, just check the smoothing on that. That'll do fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is connect on a few extra things using bridge. And so I'll just unhide all now. I've got these little squid tips that I've made, and they're simply made from a ring of polygons that I've pulled out, and then I've beveled these points out from here. And then I've shift cloned out the borders here to create little loops. What I'm going to do is attach that to the head. And then I'm going to show you how versatile bridge is. I'm actually just going to select all the loops in one go. It's smart enough to detect which is nearest, so if I fire off the bridge now, you'll see that it connects up my tendrils quite nicely. Now this is extremely useful if you're modelling wrists and hands. If you model the elbow and the wrist and then connect the forearm together using a bridge, you can use the twist command to twist the arm around. Now when your hand is pointing down, like in a standard Leonardo pose, you'll find that your forearm is twisted. If you run the trace of your finger along your radius, you'll find that it's actually twisted right around. So a forearm twist is necessary, like so, in order to make it straighten out. Okay, so I'm just going to say maybe one more segment. That looks good. I've got the option to taper and bias as well. Now if you imagine these are arms, you can see how that forms muscles quite quickly. So by simply making two loops, I can actually make a whole arm. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm happy with him so far. I've got all these points down, and now I just need to start detailing him up a bit. So first, I'm going to start beveling out some suckers. I'm going to click this selection through here. Could use the paint selection tool, it would have been quicker. That's good, maybe not those ones. And these ones over here, let's just grab that paint tool, ignore back facing, and go into select mode. There you go, much quicker. And with all those selected, I'm going to hit the bevel tool. Select by polygon, and then I'm going to right click all these sliders to reset them. One of the nice features of Max is right clicking any slider will set it to 0. Just going to pull those in just slightly and hit apply, which will repeat the process again. Just reset those, push my height out, increase my outline, apply again, reset again, and then pull my outline in just slightly, apply, reset again, pull the height in, and go OK. So that will give us some pretty good looking suckers. Okay, so our character is now more or less done. The next thing to do is to start smoothing him out, making sure his surfaces look good. We've got the flow, we've got the geometry you need, now we just need to make sure those surfaces look good. I'm going to put on selected edge again, and I'm going to apply a mesh smooth. Now, mesh smooth is like turbo smooth, except it's permanent. So it's not like NURMS where it's previewed, it's actually a permanent addition to the mesh. So in order to save my work, so I can use this later for, say, an animation frame, I'm just going to save it off to one side as a copy and hide it. Okay, so I'm going to apply a mesh smooth, and next thing I'm going to do is go down and pull out my paint deformation tools. Turn off my edge faces. I'm now going to grab the relax tool, and then using Control and Shift and pushing up and down with the left mouse button, I can change the radius. What I'm going to do is just quickly fire off a little bit of smoothing, like so. That's good. Smooth that out so it blends in. Deal with that wrinkle down here. That's good. And then maybe blend that around here. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I can get rid of my faceted faces now. So I'm simply going to open my material viewer using M, turn off faceted on my material, and then I need to apply a single smoothing group to the whole model. So I'm just going to select everything, like so, and then apply a single smoothing group. Another way to do it is to clear all and just hit 1. There we go. Now I'm going to set up my push-pull. Now by default it's usually quite high. I'm going to set this down to, say, 1, and then maybe a bit lower, let's say 0.5. And that allows me to kind of look at the surface and just push out where I think it needs to blend a bit better. That squid's kind of a bit thin, just going to push that out a bit more. That's pretty good. Maybe raise that neck muscle out, suggest another one here. I can use the Alt key to go the opposite way. And I can use the relax tool. Okay, give him a bit more of a brow. Excellent. Well, he's just about done now. Last thing I'm going to do is close him off. Apply a symmetry modifier and just check my seams that run down the middle. Yep, he looks fine. Got a slight pinch that runs down the middle there. Just going to fix that. These edges here are too tight up against the brow of the nose. So let's just pull those out and put my symmetry back on. Much better. Okay, so he's done and ready to detail. And here we are back from detailing. Basically I've shuffled around his proportions a little in my detailing program and turned on Turbo Smooth, and then finally applied a displacement map with my final details. And just a quick render using the Mental Ray skin shader, and there we go, done. I'm David King, thank you very much for listening, and hope to catch you next time.